All right, let's talk about something fascinating today. We're digging into a story about huge ambitions, a super fast climb, and then a completely unexpected twist in the global economic race. Yeah, we're talking about India's wild economic roller coaster.
So here's the big question, right? For years, the story was just one of constant upward momentum. India was on this incredible track to become the world's fourth largest economy. But then, almost out of nowhere, something changed. The climb didn't just stall, it actually slipped back. So what on earth happened?
To really get why this slip is such a big deal, we first have to understand the climb. So let's start there. We're going to look at the incredible momentum India had built up and the massive, massive goal it was chasing.
And make no mistake, this wasn't just some number on a spreadsheet. This was a huge national ambition. The goal of joining the US and China in that exclusive top 3 club, well, that's been a powerful engine for everything from policy to national pride. It's a statement, a declaration of arrival on the world stage.
And man, things were moving fast. I mean, look at this. In 2018, India hits the number 6 spot. Just a few years later, by 2021, it jumps to number 5. And that was a huge moment, symbolically, because it meant overtaking the UK. The path forward looked totally clear. Everyone was projecting it would hit number 4 this year. The momentum really felt unstoppable.
But as we all know, especially with economics, things are rarely a straight line up. Now we're going to look at how that smooth, steady climb hit a really unexpected patch of turbulence that just changed the whole picture, at least for the short term. So this is where things stood just recently. India, sitting comfortably in the top 5, looking down at both the UK and France. This was the new normal, right? A position of strength that was supposed to be the launch pad for the next big jump.
And then this. The new projections show a complete flip. The UK is now forecast to take back that number 5 spot, pushing India down to number 6. After all those years of climbing, this is the slip that caught so many people off guard and made them ask, wait, what's going on with the big growth story?
Okay, so you might be wondering, how do they even decide these rankings? Well, it all comes down to something called nominal GDP. The simple version, you take the total value of everything a country makes and sells in a year, and you convert it into US dollars so you can compare apples to apples. It's pretty much the global yardstick for economic size.
Which, of course, brings us right back to our main question. An economy as massive as India's doesn't just slip down the ladder by accident. There have to be some pretty powerful forces at work, right? So what were they? It really boiled down to a kind of perfect storm of 3 things happening at once. First, India's own economic growth just wasn't as strong as everyone hoped. Second, its currency, the rupee, took a bit of a hit against the dollar, and that automatically makes your economy look smaller in these US dollar rankings. And third, it's not a solo race. Other countries, like the UK, just had a surprisingly strong year. So this is the really crucial part. What does a setback like this actually mean for that massive ambition of becoming a top 3 economy? Is the dream kind of over? Or is this just a pause button being hit for a little while?
Probably the best way to look at it is to separate the here and now from the long game. In the short term, yep, it's a dip. It's a real setback caused by immediate pressures. But the long-term ambition, that hasn't changed at all. The destination is still the same. It's just that the ETA might need a little updating.
And that's a view you hear from a lot of economists. This quote here just nails it perfectly. Growth is never ever a straight line. You're always going to have zigs and zags. So this is being seen less as a total derailment and more as just a necessary course correction on a very long journey.
So, what should we be keeping our eyes on to see what happens next? Well, the path forward really depends on a few key things. How fast do reforms happen inside India? How stable is the global economy? How well do they manage their currency and inflation? And maybe most important of all, do they keep pouring money into the foundations of growth, like infrastructure and tech? These are the big signals that will tell us what the next chapter holds.
And that really leaves us with the one big lingering question. Is this slip just a temporary detour on a long road to the top? Or is it a sign that the entire map is being redrawn and the final destination itself might have changed? Only time will tell.